My name is Antonich, and today I'll be giving my informative speech on the javelin throw. A few years ago, before I was a freshman in high school, I used to stereotype the javelin, just like many people still do today, as an easy event that comes down to basically arm strength and ability to throw a metal spear as far as you can, much like a baseball. It was until my freshman year when I arrived at my first practice that I realized that it involves much more than just those two athletic qualities. As a baseball player for as long as I can remember, I thought that the javelin would be a piece of cake to pick up and be skillful at. After a few track meets of less than mediocre performances, I decided to take a closer look at what being a good javelin thrower entails. I mention these facts because today I plan to inform you on some of the history and basic concepts that I have found over the last few years to be a successful and competitive thrower in the sport. I feel that to fully understand and appreciate what the event is about, it would be very useful to know where and how the sport originated. The history of the javelin dates way back to cultures that use the javelin for means of living and also for competition. The first throwers were primitive hunters seeking food, using the javelin as a weapon to kill large animals and fish. The first javelins were made of wood. They weighed about 400 grams and were 2 to 3 meters in length. The first known competitive use of the javelin occurred in the ancient Greek Olympics, where the javelin throw was part of the 5-event pentathlon. The Greeks' javelin included a thong attached to a grip. When the thrower gripped the javelin, he placed 2 fingers in the thong, giving him greater control upon release. The Greeks, however, have no records of ever throwing the javelin for distance or accuracy. Swedes and Finns dominated the early years of modern Olympic javelin throwing. They won the first 6 gold medals ever in the event. Eric Lemming of Sweden won the first gold medal in 1908. In 1912, Eric defended his title, winning the 2nd ever gold medal. The javelin today is more than a form of hunting and competition of brute strength. Javelins have evolved from wood to a complex weighted structure. In 1999, restrictions to the shape and weight were made due to dangerous distance and throws. Men's javelins now weigh 800 grams, women's weigh 600 grams. Men's javelin length is 2.7 meters, women's length is 2.3 meters. Athletes today are allowed to run up to throw, but must throw within a sector. Throwers are provided a runway 4 meters wide and 30 meters in length. Athletes typically use the runway as a way to gain speed and momentum. The javelin must land in a sector that is 29 degrees in angle with the runway. A curved arc is where the measurement starts and cannot be crossed by the thrower. Just like in the past, the javelin has a cord for grip, but with more variety. I will demonstrate now the 3 different grips that javelin throwers use today. The first grip that javelin throwers use is called the American grip. That's basically holding the javelin with your pointer finger and your thumb at the back of the cord, resting it across your palm. The second type of grip is called the Finnish grip. The Finnish grip consists of using your middle finger and your thumb and just letting your pointer finger float behind the javelin for greater control. The third and most popular style grip is the fork grip, which is much like throwing a fastball if you were holding a baseball. You use your middle finger and pointer finger to pull from behind the cord. Another thing about javelins is the tip. If you're throwing into a strong headwind, you want your tip to be narrow and pointy like this one, for example. If the wind is at your back and you can get more carry out of it, you would like to have the tip fatter so it has more surface area to be pushed by the wind. The power and distance of the throw come from many different factors. The run-up gains speed and momentum into your throw. In addition to the core and upper body strength necessary to deliver the implement, javelin throwers benefit from the agility and athleticism typically associated with running and jumping events. Thus, the athletes share more physical characteristics with sprinters than with other heavier throwing athletes. The 3 different grips mentioned provide different pull forces and trajectory levels. Each grip has costs and benefits that are different from thrower to thrower, so there is much controversy over the best one. Most of the power generated by the thrower comes from the back leg, through the hips, and finally up and over your front plant leg in a rubber band-like motion. Being that the Being that the javelin is a dangerous event, not many high schools allow the event, while just about every college does, so the college scholarship chances are very high. Only 17 states allow the javelin to be thrown in high school. In college, if the school has a track team, the javelin is usually an event offered. The NCAA allows 12 track scholarships for men and 18 for women for schools, and at least one out of both are usually javelin throwers. Present-day high school, college, and Olympic athletes continue to take the javelin to new and extreme distances. The speed and athleticism continues to grow in upcoming athletes due to breakthroughs in training and nutrition. Athletes are making old distances seem even shorter than they used to be after the javelin was restricted in 1999. High school boys winning throws are up in the 220 to 240 foot marks. High school girls are throwing in the 150 to 170 foot marks. College men's winning throws are up in the 260 to 280 foot marks. College women's are in the 170 to 190 foot marks. Olympic men's winning throws are reaching distances longer than a football field at over 300 foot marks. Olympic women's throws are reaching amazing distances of 240 to 260 foot marks. The training for javelin specifically has increased dramatically over the past few years. New javelins with rubber tips are now available to be thrown indoors, so you can practice all year round in colder climates. And most javelin throwers are now looking at it as a training lifestyle that goes year round rather than just a few month event. In conclusion, one of my favorite javelin throwers of all time is an American by the name of Bro Greer. He has helped take the sport to new levels in many of the ways that I have mentioned. If you have never heard of the javelin prior to this or seen how it is done, then I would encourage you to look at some of his throwing videos on YouTube or other websites, because he demonstrates how it should be done very well. After listening to what I have said today, the javelin may still seem no more than a piece of metal that you throw as far as you can with little athletic ability. I completely understand that, because I would say that it is more of a passion than an event, and when you do watch something powered completely by a single man glide farther than a football field, it really does make you realize how amazing it can be. Thanks for your time.